Hey, Zach, have you seen the peach whiskey? I can't find it. What are you doing?
I started drinking.
Why?
Well, met God.
You met God? Oh shit, where is he?
Well, why don't I tell you a long story about dancing, fruit, space abominations, betrayal, and
A few moments later.
then he killed his best frenemy, ate the fruit of knowledge, and ascended to godhood alongside his sort of girlfriend.
It's warm. You've been drinking warm whiskey? Okay, so this all started with a dance crew?
Yep. Why?
Because I'm contractually obligated to hit you every time I'm in one of your stupid videos.
Hello there, welcome to another Toku Ramblings, take number 3 because the camera stopped recording. But, we begin our trilogy of looking into Drive's numerous movies and specials with the Winter 2014 film and the Summer 2015 film Movie War Full Throttle and Surprise Future. Here, which I'm gonna more or less be upfront here. I think these are some of the best films that this franchise has ever done. And so let's start with Full Throttle, and yeah, let's get the initial problem. Wait, the movies, the segments don't connect whatsoever, but this is even more. I wouldn't say that because the Sengoku movie were really didn't connect to anything else. So Gaim's portion more or less focuses on the new threat of the Mega Hex, this giant hive mind that comes to Koten Mai's new planet that they're enjoying their new god Hodan and begins to assimilate the planet. It kidnaps Mind, steals memories from Kota about Earth, so it goes there and kills Kota on the planet for all of his friends to watch, leaving Earth's defense, or specifically Zawami City's defense, to the Kurashino siblings of Mitsuzune and Takutora. Meanwhile, in Tokyo, and there is no mention whatsoever of what's going on in Zawami City at all. Yes, that Yaguso is still controlling the media. The SIU is on the tail of the legendary Phantom Thief Lupin, who turns out to be a Roy Mute, and said appearance of Roy Mute serves Krim's memory of a Roy Mute known as Cyber Roy ZZZ, which turns out to have been the fusion between it and the mind of aging Phantom Thief Soroku Toku, who intends to more or less take the title of Kamen Rider from Shinosuke with his Lupin Gunner. They're totally two different things. They're not repainted whatsoever. Yeah, again. They barely connect until like the end where Cyberoids where Tojo is more or less kidnapped. And look, I kind of with these, I kind of just accepted that they were never really going to do the best of connecting with that kind of force in some way. But I will state that of the segments, I think Full Throttle segments are probably the best in the entirety of these. I think Gaim's portion is a significant improvement over its Sengoku War portion, but it is I think it's a far better epilogue to the main series than the actual final episode. So, but I kind of wish Michi was not the main focus here, since it's just redoing the redemption from the last episode, which, again, wasn't well handled in that episode. I will give credit that this is a better redemption arc, seeing as how Michi actually does something he failed to do in the TVs during his stint as a villain, while Takatora mostly spends his time fighting a robotic size Rio when I was brought back by Mega Hex alongside a few Kurakage Troopers. Troopers. Oddly doesn't bring back any other Genesis rider for some reason. I guess they thought just one was good enough since there was only Sengoku driver. Ira's left, but Ryoma does definitely steal the show as the main villain of the guiding portion, because unfortunately the Mega Hex is not terribly interesting. It's just the standard but singular-minded people bad. We together are strong. I think designs are cool in the new Dragon Fruit Energy. Energy Arm has this definitively robotic look compared to other forms. But I think the big thing to take away from this is that this has a lot of great memorable moments. The highlight being Takatora becoming Zangetsu Shin once more, and honestly one of the coolest transformation sequences this franchise has ever done. And it's an epic, defiant moment in the face of superior opponent that really captures some of Gum's best moments. The trio henshin between Koten and the Kirishima siblings is definitely a highlight, even if it is sort of a Deus Ex Machina. But hey, Goto's a god now. Now he just pull off Deus Ex Machina, does whatever he wants now. It is definitely a much better send-off to the Gaim franchise before the additional Gaiden films came out to expand the lore. The drive portion... Okay, I'm gonna bring this up again, but why was there no reference to what was going on in Zawame? Maybe just a television in the background just saying breaking news, aliens have invaded Zawame again. And I know this is more or less nitpicking, but really, more or less, that's kind of one of the smaller issues I have, because this is honestly probably one of the better early episodes, because let's face it, this is basically an episode. It really helps that the villain is a lot more interesting than the Mega Hex. Lupin comes with a lot of personality. He owns every scene he is. And makes himself feel like a star, how a Phantom Thief really should. And that first fight scene is incredible. But with the Lupin suit, and God, that suit is so stylish and amazing. The red underbody, the tough hat. It's probably one of the best suits Drive has ever done. God, why couldn't they not have made this part of the main scene? But just because Lupin does steal the show here, that doesn't mean the then main trio, Shinosuke Q, don't get some really solid character moments here. Even if one feels forced in the form of Beltson's death. Yep, he's totally dead. He's gone. Not coming back after this. Definitely dead. It's just more or less an AI program. But it feels like they have grown a lot in the past 12 episodes in terms of trust, camaraderie, and friendship, especially with the twist that unless they have in the mystery, which if you do pay attention, you can actually catch before. And it also, I think, helps that a lot of the more zany comedy, which sometimes never worked, is pushed more to this side. Most of the focus is on Lupin and the match to be the true commoner. Right. There. I think that there is sort of an issue that this film kind of... The variety of generals don't have much to do here. Here, Chase shows up to try and kill Lupin initially, is beaten, and then comes back near the end to a drive-in beating. But I will give credit in the last portion. It's a really great character moment for Hart that shows him as a standout in terms of villains, because he more or less comes to help because Because the Mega Hex represents everything he doesn't like. Like a singular hive rather than the individual that they strive. So it's really solid, and I think that's one of the things that helped boost this film. It actually has really great character moments between, the main cast rather than just new side one-off character that's not going to show up again, which has been sort of an issue with these movie wars. And yes, this one does have a just as awesome henshin with Shinosuke falling to the ground as Beltson revives. Oh no, I spoiled that more or less Beltson was going to revive at the end. Yes, I'm a terrible person. So, the movie war portion is the standard small group of writers against a large force with some additional help. Mega Hex revives Kaito, so he could revive more than one form. Right, but Kaito just defects back to the hero side to assist them. And since he's lost and he's willing to support Kaito in creating his. The legacy forms are not that terrible as they probably are, but it's kind of overshadowed by space car flying towards an entire planet and Rider kicking it. The handy two groups go their separate ways with Kota and spending a bit of time with the remaining Zoami crew and Shinosuke putting his foot in his mouth regard to Kiri. It definitely has its issues. Again, the dual story nature doesn't more or less give enough time to let's have them hang out. I will give credit that Space God stuff is actually kind of nifty, but I do think both portions that are here are probably some of the best stuff that Drive has done. That Boss Comer has done for these movie wars, and if they're more going to end this format with this film, not the worst way to end it. And that leads us into probably the best summer movie that I think Kamen Rider has done. Can I say that? Is this the best? Yeah, I would have. Surprise! So, Shinosuke is accosted by a man in more or less. Here's the thing that, let's face it, most men don't want to hear. He's a father. Fair. But before he can demand a DNA test like most, those Krim suddenly goes berserk, causing a massive explosion, destroying a power plant. Now the duo is on the run from the police and a mysterious new rider trying to kill the time. He reveals that more or less he's Shinosuke's son from the future and reveals the duo's future of 20 years. And it's not a pretty one. With Krim's out verse belying a far greater evil than any of the mutants of today. Now, Drive sometimes struggled with trying to balance its tone sometimes, which again could be an issue in the early because again it goes from a very light, like zany, goofy kind of show to just as dark, if not darker, than Guy certain says, but it had a lot of emotion. It felt like these people were actually humans rather than characters written for a script. And more or less, the main focus of Shinosuke and Beltson's relationship is put on full view here, and it is far better than more or less what we got with. Yes, he quote unquote dies again, but it has much more impact here. We've seen this show up to this point. We've seen them grown as partners, a mentor and to the point of being good friends with. Okay, about to get a get for the 1 year they've been And more or less Shinosuke's like, look, I'm gonna try and fix you. I do not want this to end this way. And finally, just having to put it down is arguably one of the saddest moments that this film has ever. Where just the axe bringing down a belt song is. It is arguably some of the peak that this franchise has ever done. But also helps that I think this also has some really impressive action for its like hour run. Time not only in car but out of car. I guess there is something to the detriment here is that the focus is primarily on Shinosuke, Krim, and Eiji. She, as most of the drive casts, serve a primarily observational role with the exception of Kiriko, who shows up to help. Even the Roid Mutants, honestly, they allusion to more or less Riku's last series, they'll mostly take a backseat to the situation at hand. So, if you're kind of fans of certain characters and how they'd more or less if you come to more or less enjoy these characters, that can be a bit disappointing, and more or less the villain in Paradox is just a Doomsday villain that the villain's deemed too just the most interesting thing about him is his subterfuge playing as Eiji throughout the entire film until more or less Shinosuke kills Beltson. At that point he reveals his true colors and just becomes Doomsday. I do like the kind of more futuristic design that the Dark Drive suit has going for it. This kind of futuristic look it's going for. Right, then the new special form isn't too bad. For mixing kind of the past and present of few. And the kind of prototype form that Shinosuke gets with Beltson out of the way feels really nice as a kind of step. It's like, this is an enjoyable movie overall with good twist throughout them. When you rewatch it, it kind of makes sense. Just don't think about that. Yes, a film that deals with time travel and Kamen Rider movie is something you should never think about, but so again, Shinosuke takes the future version of the belt he ends up taking from the Paradox Roid Mutant after it's discarded it and joins with the present Mutant, so he uses that to, and of course, kills the Paradox Roid Mutant. It completely ignores the fact that now that the Paradox Roid Mutant is destroyed, doesn't that mean the future belt is destroyed too, and isn't most of the events that happen in the film non-canon anymore? Because, well, without the future events happening, it can't happen anymore. There's no stable time loop where Krim does the 20-year thing, because the series later reveals that the evil Krim is not the Krim they know, because Bando makes a new Krim. So technically the only way this story happens, and I may be thinking, the villain is literally called Paradox Roid Mutant. Paradox can happen. That's the way it's more. Let's explain the way. It's a paradox. Who cares? Just, it's a great movie, and at the end of the day, but again, just don't think about it. It's a great character drama that shows the best of what Drive can do, but man, Anyhow, subscribe, comment, like, ring the bell, all those things for the YouTube Rhythm, and enjoy the rest of your day.